Hello everyone. I've decided to change the name of this series to The Detour. So, welcome to The Detour. I actually came up with the name a while back, but never used it, and now I have a reason to. So welcome to The Detour. Today I'm going to talk about our human potential and how we've been brainwashed to believe that we're not good enough, or that we can't sing, or we can't dance, or we can't express ourselves, which I think is just kind of ridiculous. I believe that everyone is innately talented. The system that's in place right now is designed to make us feel like we're not good enough, so they put ads in our face to buy this and buy that, and when we purchase these things, you know, we might get a sense of pleasure, temporary pleasure, and then we gotta go out and buy something else. So this is how they profit off of our insecurities. I believe that we all have innate talents. If you're remotely interested in, let's say, pottery, let's say painting, let's say dancing, you have like an infinite amount of potential to grow and become skillful in that area. I am a firm believer of that. It's just that people, when they start, you know, playing the guitar or something, or doing something that, and gaining a new skill, like the first week is gonna be difficult, very difficult, and you're gonna want to give up because it's brand new, and your brain is just like, it has to create these new neural pathways. But the only way to get better at what you do is to repeat it. And we wake up every morning, and we brush our teeth, and we turn on the shower, and these might seem like mindless activities, but there are things that we already know how to do that's ingrained with us, that's just like second nature. And it's the same thing with playing the guitar, like painting and stuff. It's, you have to just keep repeating it until it becomes second nature to you. At first it's gonna be uncomfortable, like everything is, but if you keep pushing through that, and you breathe through that, and you know, you pick yourself back up every time you fail or you fall, it's like, that's where it's at. That's where the growth happens. I don't know, it's just like, we live in a society where the jobs that are like highly paid and deemed important. Not to say that they're very important, obviously, like doctors, lawyers, and engineers. You know, people in finance and stuff, yeah, they get paid the most, for sure. But I feel like, I was listening to an interview between Elon Musk and Joe Rogan the other day, and Elon was just saying how there needs to be less smart people in finance and more smart people just creating things, because I believe that we have the innate ability, everyone, all of us, we're like creative beings. We're extensions of God, of Source, and we're literally creating our reality collectively. Like, everything that you see around you was a thought before it came into existence. Like these buildings around me, this street, these cars, everything that you see was first a thought, and then it became a sketch or a blueprint, and then, you know, you gather the energy to create that thing, to have it come into physical manifestation. And we all have that ability to do this, but we've been brainwashed to believe that we have to, you know, work for the system and get this high-paying job, pursue our American dream, buying a house and a fancy car, having kids, and not being able to even spend a lot of time with them because you're working, you're stressed out all the time. And then, you know, you gotta drink on the weekends to kind of decompress from the entire stressful week. Like, that is not in my opinion, a natural. We've been ingrained to believe that this is a natural, just part of life, you know. It's just what we gotta do, you know. We gotta go to work for 8 hours a day and come home and just be drained of all the work that we don't really actually care about, like, in our hearts, you know. And so I think the next step of human evolution, where we're headed, is, I believe, well, for one thing, free energy technology will come out. I don't know when, but it's a thing, which will allow us to not even, like, we won't even need to make money, because the reason why we need to make money is because we gotta pay for our energy, and when we don't have to pay for energy anymore, and suddenly perhaps we can grow our own food and build our own houses and not have to depend on this system that is obviously not sustainable. It's like we get to go back to our true natural roots and connection with nature, and like live in harmony with it. Just be in touch with our food too. And because we've just strayed so far from what is natural. We've been ingrained to believe that we have to work our asses off and suffer and become stressed out in order to feel rewarded with a check. And I don't know, that's not the type of life that I feel like is true to me and true to my heart and my soul. I see a future where we're gonna be a lot more community oriented, where there's gonna be a lot of permaculture and community gardens, community living, and just being able to express yourselves freely. Because I believe innately we're all creative beings, like I said earlier, and we're here to express ourselves. And I believe that we've strayed so far from that to the point that we're afraid of expressing ourselves. We're afraid to dance. We're afraid to sing. We're afraid to do what is natural to us, what feels good to us, what, like, tapping into the flow state. We all have innate talent. We all have these unique abilities, and we express them in our own unique way, in our own unique signature. And I feel like the more we tap into that innate potential that we all have, the more powerful, like incredibly powerful we become. And like the type of society that I envision quite often is just a society where we don't have to work so hard and we can just have fun, like just as we were kids, you know, just following our curiosity, expressing ourselves and how we feel, and allowing our emotions to process. It's like as we become adults, we just suppress so much, and then the more we suppress, the more all of that tension, that emotional tension builds up and becomes inevitably expressed in something else, you know, like that energy has to move out somewhere. So I don't know, I feel like we kind of numb ourselves from that by eating, drinking, or going shopping, and just distracting ourselves from our emotions and our feelings of unworthiness that have been ingrained in us since we were kids, you know. And so I don't know, I've been working through a lot of that the past couple years of my life. No, I mean, mostly the past couple years, but most like 4 or 5 years of my life of recognizing why I feel unworthy. And a lot of that is, you know, conditioning and growing up in a family where, or parents that have high expectations and you know, expect you to get the regular 9-to-5 job. Like I knew for such a long time that wasn't where my soul wanted to go. It just wasn't. The more, you know, I used to be a really anxious person, I used to, not talk at all in class. If you knew me in high school and college, I didn't say a word in class because of how afraid I was of being judged, or stuttering and saying something stupid and having other people criticize me like behind my back or something. It's just like some irrational stuff. But yeah, so if you knew me, like, I was quiet, so quiet, and like I had just a handful of friends. And the more, I think it was after I graduated and quit my 9-to-5 job, that was the moment I decided, like, as uncomfortable as it is for me to express who I am and be more of who I am, and just express myself in general, that I just knew that was the path that my soul needed to take in order for me to grow. And the most uncomfortable path for all of us is the path where we will feel the most growth and reward and fulfillment. Like, I know that to be true in my heart, like, the more I've been getting out of my comfort zone, the more just like magical freaking things have been happening to me, and meeting the right people at the right time and the right circumstances coming up, like synchronicity after synchronicity. And it's like when you just allow and you tap into that, to who you are, and you allow yourself to express and you flow with it, and like, honestly, just channeling our inner child. Like, we all have this inner child that we've suppressed over the years because we have to become adults, and I don't believe in adulthood. It's just it's a social construct. So I don't know, I just see a future where we can all just express ourselves freely and without judgment, and recognizing that we all have this innate potential and talent to do such powerful, beautiful, unimaginable things. And so, I don't know, I just feel like I want to tap into my potential and show that other people can do it too. You can do it too. If you have something that you've been meaning to learn for some time, learning how to cook, play the flute, whatever, try it out. And it's gonna be uncomfortable the first few times playing it, first week or two or month or so, but the more you dedicate yourself to it, the more you put aside that time in the day. It could just be like 10 to 20 minutes a day. Like, I know everyone has this time, right, especially right now. Like, come on. We're all fucking powerful, and we all don't even recognize it yet. And in self-expression, expressing yourself, expressing who you are and your truth has been the most rewarding feeling that I've ever gotten to experience in my life. For one thing, because it's uncomfortable, but another thing is, like, you realize that the scariest parts, the most uncomfortable parts, moments of life, are just the moments before anything even happens to you. It's only scary in your head. It's always the scariest in your head. But when a thing is actually happening that you've been afraid of your entire life, of course it's gonna, like, it might freak you out at the time, but you just have to breathe through it, and that's why I'm a huge proponent of meditation. And meditation has allowed me to remain balanced and non-reactive. I mean, I can still react, but, like, just more conscious of allowing external circumstances to have an effect on how I feel. You're in control of how you feel and your attitude towards whatever happens to you. You might not have control over what happens, but you do have control over how you react, and that's what meditation has done for me. So we're all fucking powerful beings, and it's only a matter of time until we all discover our innate potential. So yeah, that's all I want to say.